guys, welcome to today's Big Brother 19 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Casey Wise. Casey, what's up? Thank you so much for your support. You're awesome. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day like Casey, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Alright, we got a lot of things to talk about here, so let's just dive right in. Alright, so Josh and Paul were chatting in the Apple Lounge, and Josh is saying he's not so happy with Matt and Raven right now because they're playing both sides. They talk so much crap about Mark and Elena behind closed doors, but then they're all buddy-buddy with them when they're in their faces. So Josh is like, I'm gonna squash my beef with Mark and Cody. And he's not gonna let Matt and Raven instigate things anymore because they realize Matt and Raven will be talking to them and they'll be like, oh my god, this person sucks, you should call him out for this or this. And then when it's time to call somebody out, they're just like, you know, they're not even in the room. They're not gonna be a part of that. So they are instigating things. What about Paul telling you to yell at people? He's instigating things too. You might want to reflect a little bit. But anyway, Mark joins them and this is Josh's chance to squash things, but Josh gets called to the DR, so Mark and Paul were talking, blah, 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 blah. It wasn't important. Alright, so then when Josh comes back, Paul leaves to let them talk. He says, I don't want to be a part of this. So Mark and Josh are alone, and Josh is just like, dude, can we have a conversation? So he's saying, dude, I effing like you, but keep it real with me. I mean, he's always saying that he doesn't know where Mark actually stands and he acts like his friend and then he's talking about him behind his back or coming after him or whatever. And Mark is just like, every time we talk, you never let me finish a thought, Josh. So they list their usual grievances. It's the same stuff we've heard for 50 some odd days. But this time, they weren't yelling at each other. Baby steps. Alright, so that's like not even important because we've got a lot of other stuff going on in the house. As if Pillowgate wasn't dumb enough, Alex is now yelling at Cody in the kitchen for eating all of her cereal. I mean, yelling. And she's like, we're trying to be nice to you, and all you want to do is be an effing asshole. You're trying to be nice to him? Oh my god, that's you trying to be nice to him? That's crazy. So Cody's just like, all I want to do is eat this Honey Nut Chex. Just leave me alone. So Alex is saying she's the only person being nice to him again. What? And he couldn't save her one bowl. So Cody's like, I don't want anybody to be nice to me or like me. I just want to be left alone. Please leave me alone. So then Cody says, I prefer that you all hate me and never talk to me again. So Jason is like, Cody, you're an effing idiot for being a dick to Alex. So Jason starts getting involved, and we haven't seen him jump in on any of these fights before. So it's kind of like, whoa, what's going on here? He seems really offended that Cody ate all of Alex's cereal. Get a life. So then Cody's asking Jason, like, what have you done for me in this game? I saved your game. I could have put you on the block and you would have been out of here. And then what do you do to repay me? Nothing. So then Jason's like, yeah, good one, haha. And then he's saying, I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt because you're also from Iowa, but I guess everything was just a lie. So then he's like, are you even from Iowa? And then Alex, this is a freaking low blow. Alex is like, how's your kid? Do you even have one? That's so messed up. This is exactly why Cody didn't want to tell people he had a kid. So then Cody seems very affected by this. He seems really upset. He's just like, please quit talking to me. And Alex is like, no. If you want us to hate you, we're going to make you hate us even more. So then she's like, do you even like Jessica or did you use her for your game? Because you really screwed her over. You screwed everyone over in this house. Blah! So then Cody's like, I'm done talking. And again, he seems really upset now because this is getting a little personal here. So then it's kind of quiet for a minute and Christmas decides, hey, I think it's time for me to get some airtime. So she makes a freaking show of pulling out some cereal that she hid, and she's just like, oh, Alex, I had a feeling that Cody was going to do this, so I decided to go ahead and hide some cereal for us. So guess what? It was the wrong kind anyway. Why are we doing this? Okay, so then Jason is saying that Cody's full of shit. And he doesn't feel bad about voting him out now. Before he was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do it. And Cody's like, when have you ever voted to keep me? And Jason says, good point. That is true. So then Alex is kind of like steering the conversation in a different direction, and she's like, whoever Cody's trying to protect is going to be out next. And then they're trying to like pull out of Cody who he's trying to protect. So Cody's like, I'm not trying to protect anybody. I have no idea what you're talking about. So Alex, Josh, and Paul are all asking, like, who is it? Who are you trying to protect? And they're obviously trying to get him to say that he's working with Mark, because they want this huge target to be on Mark once Cody's gone. So Christmas is like, didn't you tell me before I left for my surgery that Mark has been your ride or die since day one? And Cody's like, yeah, but like he went back on that. You know, it's not happening anymore. It's over. So he's calling everybody absolute lunatics for the way they're all ganging up on him right now over nothing. And Christmas is like, we're not lunatics, okay? We talk about things and we ask questions. We're not arguing. We're asking questions. I don't have enough expressions for this anymore. So then Alex starts accusing Cody of being a liar again. And she says, do you tell anything that's the truth? And Cody says, no. Every single thing has been a lie. Oh my God. So he says, you can all hate me. That's fine. That's what I want. If you guys never talk to me again outside of this house, that's fine. So then Kevin, hearing this, comes in like Mr. Rogers, and he's like, look, man, we're all human beings. You can't live like that. Maybe you should take the next 2 days to show people who you really are. You know, they hate the game you played, but maybe they don't necessarily hate you as a person. So Cody's like, all right, I'll think about it. Whatever, just leave me alone. So he's not gonna think about it. So then he's saying, if it makes you guys happy, I'll be polite, I'll be courteous, and I'm not gonna talk to anyone, okay? I'm gonna keep my effing mouth shut. And then everybody's like, oh no, Cody, that's not what we're saying. We want to talk to you. You can talk to us. Come on, they want to use him as a freaking punching bag. And now that he's like, I'm not going to talk to you at all, they're just like, well, how are we going to get airtime? So then Alex is saying, when have I ever been mean to you on a personal level? Really? You just brought up his daughter, who he didn't want people to know about so they could use it against him. You brought up his military career, dissing that. Oh my God. It's insane. I don't know if she just thinks that she could do no wrong, or if she's got like short-term memory loss. I don't know, but Alex's behavior in particular the last few days has really, really been annoying as fuck. Okay, so then, where are we? Alex starts to say, I think he's faking it. He's trying to make himself the target here. And she meant victim in this situation, and Cody's just like, the victim? No. Absolutely not. So Cody again is just saying he just wants to be by himself, and Christmas says, then why are you on Big Brother? She says, she was like, yeah, she's asking him why he's on Big Brother, and he's like, just leave me alone. I don't want to talk to anybody. I will be polite and courteous to everyone and keep my mouth shut. And she's like, well, we don't want that. We want answers from you. Well, what are you going to do? Freaking put your fist in his mouth and pull them out? I'm sure she would like to try. So then Cody finally gets up and walks away, and he tells Alex, I didn't mean to be a jerk, you know, by eating all your cereal. And Christmas is like, that's not an apology. STFU. Okay, so then, I'm sorry, it's just like, you guys have no idea the toll it's taking on me. So then Mark comes into the kitchen after Cody leaves, and they're asking him like, are you aligned with Cody? What's going on? So Mark is like, I had an alliance with Cody week 1. We're not aligned anymore. And Alex is like, well, nobody's ever seen you have it out with him. Do they have to freaking fight for it to be over? Is that all you understand? Fighting? So then, meanwhile, Josh is talking to Cody in the bathroom. He's brushing his teeth, and Josh is like, when you watch back, you'll see that I was gunning for Mark and Elena, not you. So, not you and Jess. So, Josh is saying, they're freaking shady. I really wanted Elena out, but things did not go my way last week. So, then they're both saying, like, I don't hate you, whatever. Yeah, they do. So, Josh is telling Cody, don't protect Mark because he's talked so much shit about you. So Cody's just like, okay, whatever, leave me alone. So then Cody goes back into the kitchen and he hears that these bozos are still asking Mark if he knew about Cody's backdoor plan from week 1. So Cody is like, listen, I brought it up to Mark once. He was resistant to it, and that was it. I never mentioned it again to him. Please stop asking about it. So then Josh is also asking, just tell me this. When you came back into the house after the battle back, did you guys realign? And Cody's like, no, we're just friends. So then Cody retreats to the backyard, and he's just like, these effing idiots. He's just sitting out there alone. So things really continue to simmer in the kitchen. Jason is like legit pissed that Cody ate Alex's cereal. Again, please stop. It's ridiculous. Okay, so then now that the fighting is over, guess who rolls in? Matt and Raven. They were watching the whole thing from the balcony, and now they're like, ooh, it's over, we can come in now. So Raven walks in and she says, Cody promised he'd never vote me out. And they're all just like, where did you come from? So then they all continue to talk about Cody, and Raven and Matt are showing off their extreme reactions to everything. I know it's a lot coming from me, right? Because I have my own extreme reactions, but they take it to a whole nother level. And of course, we get a classic, are you shitting me? From Raven. I'm not kidding. She pulled that out again. Alright, so then, it's not over yet. Josh and Elena start getting into it, and everybody at this point is listening in the kitchen except for Cody. So Josh is like, Elena, you and Mark are untrustworthy. Your actions have shown it. So he brings up, like, you guys both voted me out when I was up on the block. Then you flipped on Jess and Cody when I stayed. And, Elena, you took the $5,000 from Alex during the power veto. Oh, no. Okay, so Elena says, well, guess what? The people I was working with lied to me about the vote. That's why I voted you out. So then he's trying to call her honey, and she's just like, no, don't effing do that. That's condescending. So you know who started using the word condescending when he heard it? Josh. So he tries to call her condescending, and she's just like, no. Alright, so then they're arguing about Josh's HOH week. Elena is denying dropping Paul and Alex's names. She definitely did. And Josh is lying about his reasons for nominating Elena. Part of it definitely was because she voted to evict him, but he doesn't want to admit that. So then Elena's getting really frustrated with Josh because he keeps interrupting her. She can't get a complete thought out there. So she starts screaming at him, let me finish! So she says Josh is twisting her words. Excuse me, it's ridiculous. And Josh is then saying, you're only looking out for yourself. And thank God, Elena said, who do you want me to look out for? You? No, not happening. So then it's just the same shit over and over again. I feel like every time Josh gets into one of these arguments, he brings up the same points again and again, and he pulls stuff from other arguments that they've already resolved. So Elena is like, you know what, we already freaking settled this, and now you're just bringing it up in front of everybody because it's convenient for you, and it's going to put a bigger target on me. Yes, thank you. So then Josh can't handle it anymore because Elena is giving it right back to him and not letting him get in a lot of words. She was like, can we get a word count here? So Josh is kind of like, Alex, can you come fight? Can you get in here? Alex needs to take time to think of her points. But Josh brings up that Elena jumps ship on Mark every time there's a target on him, which is not true. But Elena's denying it. And then Christmas jumps in. She gives Josh a little bit of a break. And she actually shushes Josh. She's like, it's my turn. So she brings up this conversation where Elena was saying if Mark wins HOH, she's going to like dump him or whatever, like some bullshit. I guess it happened. I don't even know. Whatever. So then she's denying it. Elena's denying it. Alex also jumps in. She starts yelling about the power veto competition and how Elena took the $5,000 from her after making that deal. So then Alex is yelling that Elena disrespects everyone. I wouldn't go that far. But then she's like, what kind of car do you drive, Elena? And she's just like, what does that have to do with anything? So Alex is yelling that her car is a piece of shit and Elena's got a freaking Audi. And it's not fair that Elena's saying that she's poor when she's got an Audi. When did this become a charity thing, Alex? Come on. Your best friend Paul is like freaking loaded, but whatever. So then the feeds were blocked when Alex brings up Elena's work contract. Okay, and when they come back, Alex and Elena are still fighting. So Josh comes back into it. He tells Elena, I really like you as a person. I'm obsessed with you. I think you're beautiful. I have a big crush on you, but game-wise, no. At this point, I've had enough. I just can't anymore. So this shit finally breaks up an hour after the cereal argument began. All this arguing, an hour in the kitchen. Finally, Elena walks away. She's had enough. So this whole thing, I believe, has had the opposite effect of what the instigators wanted, because they were hoping that this was going to like drive a wedge between Mark and Elena and like freak them out, but it's actually brought them closer together. So Elena and Mark are talking, and she's denying that she told people that she was going to like friggin' flip on Mark and like dump him. That's a lie. But anyway, it's still bringing them closer. He's like, okay, I believe you. So they talk about how much the others suck. Paul keeps saying that he's a grown-ass man and he's not gonna like talk about this pillow thing anymore, but he totally is. He's making a huge deal out of it. Josh gets away with lying about stuff because he's dumb. And then Elena is realizing there has been a shift here. She and Mark are the new Cody and Jess, and then Matt and Raven are the new them. You know, they're playing the middle, trying not to make waves, which is what Mark and Elena were doing before. So she's just like, damn, we're Cody and Jess now. Like, that's not good for us. We're gonna have to freaking win out if we plan on making it to the end. So Elena's saying she just really wants to blow up that alliance, but Mark is warning her, you need to wait until after eviction because you're up on the block and there's always that chance that they could vote you out over Cody if you do something really bad. So then Mark brings up a good point. He's like, hey, how come it's okay when Alex and Jason hang out with Cody, but I get a freaking shitstorm whenever I do it? Good point, man. Good point. So Mark is finally realizing he's not going to be able to make a deal with Jason and Alex if he wins HOH. He says their only chance is to pull in Matt and Raven. They are so effed. Okay, so anyway, Paul and his minions are outside at Alex's campsite while she's cooking up some hot dogs. And Jason's like, hey guys, I think we all need to chill out a bit. We need to stop ganging up on people. So he's saying that Mark and Elena have taken so many ass chewings in such, that's his words, in such a short amount of time that now they're freaking tighter than they've ever been. So it's not really having the effect that they wanted. So Jason is also saying, with all this freaking ganging up on people, he's worried that Mark and Elena are going to go to Matt and Raven and be like, hey, when we're out of the house, these people are all going to be ganging up on you. Is that what you really want? Like, if you come work with us, we can fight them. So he's worried about that. They're all freaking out that, like, Matt and Raven and Mark and Elena will start working together again. That's, like, one of their biggest fears right now. Also, like, what would happen if Paul wasn't here? But anyway, Jason is saying this is Josh's style of gameplay. It works for him, but we don't need 5 people doing it. We don't even need Josh doing it. It's enough. So anyway, he's saying we already have the next few targets figured out. We look like a bunch of freaking heathens here ganging up on people. We need to just chill out. So Paul's like, yeah, you make a good point. You make a good point. Until like Thursday when they want to rattle Mark before the HOH competition. So then a few minutes later, it seems like Paul's getting really emotional. He definitely seems distracted, and it seemed like he was even crying for a little bit. He's worried about life on the outside because this season he came into the house with like somebody he was kind of like talking to romantically, but lately when he's mentioned her, Big Brother has been like dinging him and being like, Paul, stop that, or whatever. So he's like, oh shit, why is this happening? Like, did she remove her consent or whatever to be talked about? Like, what's going on? Is she freaking dumping him? Like, what's the deal? So, I don't know what the deal is, but he's freaking out about it. And Jason, Josh, and Kevin are all trying to pump him up. They're like, we need you here. We need you to tell us what to do. They didn't say the second part, but that's what they were saying. So, anyway, Alex and Jason were chatting in the HOH room. Alex is talking more shit about Kevin. They speculate that maybe he's a sociopath because of some of his social things. Alex says that he does this thing where he'll like ask people stupid questions that he definitely knows the answer to, just so people feel like, I don't even know what she's saying, but they're accusing him of being a sociopath. And then Alex is like, maybe he doesn't even have kids. And I just have to say, whichever daughter right now is running Kevin's Twitter account, girl, you're on fire. Keep up the good work, because it's amazing. And don't listen to what these fools are saying in the house. But anyway, Jason is telling Alex, look, you have bared your teeth enough lately. People are freaking terrified of you. You need to rein it in for a bit. Don't be a dictator. But Alex just thinks it's hilarious. She's like, oh my god, I'm only 5 feet tall, or and like 100 pounds, whatever. Okay, so then Josh and Paul were chatting in the have-not room. It's about to get crazy again, guys. Josh says his top 3, he would love himself, Paul, and Christmas. Now, Paul agrees with this, and he says, I have campaigned my dick off to keep both of you guys safe in previous weeks. And he said he even went as far as blaming Ramses for taking the $25,000 when he was up on the block against Josh. And Josh is like, well, I know who really took it. And then Paul is like, yeah, I do too. So they confirm, both of them know that it was Kevin. So Josh is just like, yeah, Kevin told me as soon as we walked in, like right in the beginning of the game, and I didn't tell anybody. So don't tell anybody that I knew, because I could be in a lot of trouble. I am shocked right now, first of all, that Kevin would tell Josh about this. Second, that Josh has gone this whole time without telling anybody. I am like really, really, really surprised that he kept that secret for so long. So Paul is saying, I'm going to be dropping that bomb soon. So when I do, just be ready to back me up. And Josh is like, no, he's a jury vote. Like, don't do that. And Paul's like, I don't give a crap. I'm freaking doing it. It's kind of scary when Josh is the voice of reason here. So about an hour later, Paul is up in the HOH room with Alex, and he tells Alex, hey, Kevin got the $25,000. And she's just like, wait, what? I thought it was Ramses. And he's like, nope. Kevin told Josh right in the beginning, but Josh was too afraid to tell anybody. So not only is he outing Kevin, but he's also outing Josh for knowing. So he says that I was a little bit confused here with Paul's explanation. I'm not sure if he was saying that he asked Josh about it and Josh confirmed that it was Kevin, or he asked Kevin and he confirmed it to him. I'm not really sure what he was saying here. But anyway, Paul, we knew about this the whole time too. Well, not the whole time, but most of the time. So Paul is saying, don't tell anybody yet, because we're going to drop this bomb at a later date. And definitely don't tell Josh that I told you, because he will freak out. Alright, so then Alex is like, well, I got my own bomb that I want to drop at some point. She says, I'm pretty sure that Kevin was one of the 3 votes against Ramses when we were evicting Cody. So Paul's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Kevin too. Because you told him to do it! Oh my god. Okay, I can't believe Paul is turning on Kevin like this. It's disgusting. Alright, so then they're talking about their eviction order, their what they're hoping will happen. So obviously this week they want to get rid of Cody, then Mark. And then they were kind of floating around the idea of getting rid of Elena next for a while, but now that is gone. They feel like she's going to be really messed up when Mark is gone, and she's not going to compete well under pressure, so they figure they'll keep her around for a while. Next target is Matt, because they want to keep Raven around for the same reason as Elena. They think she's going to be a mess. And then after that, I'm not sure if they're going for Kevin or what. I feel like that's what Paul wants. So it's interesting that they took out so many women in the beginning, and now Paul is saying all these dudes, you know? It's a little bit interesting here. So later they tell Jason about Kevin and the $25,000, and then at one point Alex and Jason are talking alone in the HOH room. Jason doesn't seem convinced that Kevin got the money. He's just like, no, I think it was Ramses or Jillian. And he's thinking maybe Paul is trying to frame Kevin so that they'll vote him out. And he's even saying, like, even if Ramses didn't get the money, he's glad that they thought he did, because that made it easier to vote him out. But they're both saying, like, they feel like it's kind of irrelevant now anyway. We'll see what happens when Paul does drop that bomb. Alright, so then the rest of the night, it was a bunch of bullshit. Paul was, like, venting to a bunch of people how it's so hard being the only vet. And Christmas was saying that she's worried that she's going to lose fans outside of the house because on the outside, she's Miss Positivity, and in here, they see her fighting and being aggressive all the time. You said multiple times that you enjoy ripping people's souls out of their bodies. That is sick. Moving on. Okay. Jason was giving Paul a pep talk in the have-not room, and he's telling him, like, man, don't think that you don't have a chance to win this. You have just as good a chance, if not better, than everybody else. And he's saying, you have every right to win this thing. And then Jason says he would be honored to lose to Paul. It's taking everything in me right now not to, like, hit myself in the head very hard with this notebook. I just can't anymore. Okay, so then at some point last night, I don't know what time exactly this happened, but Jason lets Paul know that Mark has talked about targeting Paul. And now this conversation was the whole fake playing chess chat when Mark was like, what do you think about Paul? I think we need to take him out. So he tells Paul about that. And after like 2 a.m. last night, I think it was around 2:20, Paul confronts Mark out at the hammock. Elena's out there too, and he's just like, you know what, you should probably be careful who you say things to. And Mark's just like, what are you talking about? So Paul says that multiple people have been coming to him saying that Mark is targeting him, and he's not happy about that. That's not something he wants to hear. So Paul's like, I'm not saying I believe it, but you should be careful who you talk to. So Mark kind of tells him, like, I'm not going after you. But he also says if he wins HOH, he's ready to make a big statement here. He is not going to be going after Josh and Christmas. That's a waste to him. And he also makes some sort of comment about how Matt's name hasn't been coming up as much anymore as a target. Like, for a while, he kept hearing himself and Matt together, but now it's just him. So Paul was just like, Alright, so then this morning, little side note here, Cody made a pot of decaf for the rest of the house guests to drink. I don't know if anybody actually drank it, but it's kind of funny after they did that to him, right? Alright, so then Paul spent most of the morning telling everybody about his late night conversation with Mark, and he's saying he called him out, and he's telling Matt, like, Mark might be targeting you because he said that nobody mentions your name anymore. He's targeting you, Paul. I'm pretty sure Paul felt threatened by that conversation too, but he's trying to get Matt pumped up here for this next HOH competition. So then Paul also retells the Mark saga to Josh, Alex, Jason, Christmas, Raven, anybody who will listen. Alright, so then this afternoon, Big Brother gave them this practice competition. I'm assuming it's for the HOH and the double eviction. So it was like this giant shuffleboard. You gotta push the disc with a stick, and everybody got 8 practice shots. I feel like this might be a little bit tough for Christmas, because remember, during the golfing one, she was like, with the crutches, and this one, you know, she's gotta push the thing, so Julie's gonna get really ticked off again and be like, Christmas, we don't have all night. Damn it! Alright, so then Cody and Elena had a quick chat in the money bedroom this afternoon. Oh, this is exciting. He says he's going to try and help out Mark and Elena a little bit here. He is planning to try and blow up Alex and Jason's games in his eviction speech. What's he going to say? I don't know if he actually has any good info on them, but at least it'll be entertaining, right? So Elena's very excited about it. So am I. And there's nothing much else happening so far today. Nothing really exciting. But tomorrow's a double eviction. Should be fun. Let me know who you guys are rooting for in the HOH competition in the comments. And that's all we got here, right? So until then, much love.